much space out there in the middle, you know. So, yeah.
Combination here in the side.
So 2 dry breaks. Or no, not 2 dry breaks, but pretty flawless pool to start.
1-1 is our score.
And 1 game apiece, and he'll be breaking in round 3.
I will pay attention. Sometimes some of the older rules, some of the players don't realize some things change. So let's see if he looks like he's going to rack the 2 and 3 on the corners again.
Just what you're saying. I was at the player meeting last night because I always like to get the updates on the rule additions. There's 3 players in this event at the player meeting, and they happen to all be from Poland. Nobody else. So every year we see mistakes made, and sometimes I'm guilty of not attending if I get in late or.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
I try to be there just for that reason.
Yeah, the pool schedule has gone crazy, you know, as far as these players going from one event to the next. And, of course, this time of the year, the weather can disrupt some travel.
Yeah, he still thinks the 2 and the 3 go on the wings.
Yeah.
You can see that. Much better break this time because the cue ball wasn't hopping near as much. And both balls from behind the 1 ball found the side pocket, so 2 balls down. Good opening shot here, Jeremy.
Yeah, and he took a little power off like we discussed there. I think the new felt, you need to do that to get those balls tracking. And 10 ball, there are definitely, really, to be fair, 5 or 6 balls you can kind of not depend on, but percentage-wise, are going to go towards some pockets. The 2 behind, the 1, of course, Mark mentioned they go towards the sides. The corner ball's 4 rail. The balls next to the corner balls on the back row can sometimes 1 rail towards the upper corner. So,
heading for the center of the table, wants to preserve the angle to play the 3 in the same pocket that the 2 is on. Also we got a little flat there. I think he can still pop it over.
It's pretty flat, I'll tell you. And anytime it's out away from the rail, getting more towards the center, really hard to move the ball.
Leaned over the 7 ball. Got to watch that. Oh, okay, yeah, it was effortless.
Easy.
Yeah, I thought he could get over there with the slick cloth. Now he's got a chance. He can go into the 5 here if he wants to off the end rail. You hate to do it because you're moving balls around, but it might be your best opportunity to get a pretty routine run out from this.
Yeah, I like what he did if the 4 does go. I like playing from underneath if it does go in the side or, oh, yeah, he had tons of angle. But watch just how effortlessly he moves the ball. And what it is the timing. So he gets everything out of the cue ball, you know. So.
Yeah, he doesn't jump on his stroke and get quick at the backswing.
Yes, sir. And if you want to watch that backhand, I don't know how much coverage we'll get of that, but sometime or another, watch Jesus. And any player that throws the cue, it's almost always something at a little bit of speed, of course. A shot like that, for instance, you don't create enough momentum to create the throw. But stuns and follows are the ones you'll see mostly with that type of technique. Even there, as light as that was, he let the cue go a little bit. I didn't expect that, huh, Mark?
No, I think he was he was halfway thinking about the 6 ball when he was shooting the 5 ball is what I think happened there.
I may catch the point and kind of kill the cue ball here.
Beautiful.
John has been playing an incredible amount of pool now for the last 2-3 years. I mean, he's always played a lot, but he's just seems like he's always in an event every week.
He's one of those players that I just admire because it's clear passion. It's not somebody says, "Oh, you got to play a lot if you want to keep it." No, he does it willfully and works harder. Probably the hardest working pro. There might be some that is hard working, but there's nobody more hard working.
Well, he wants to win every time he tees it up, right? But he's wanting that real big win. You know, he's won in Japan. He's won, I believe he won the China Open once. And of course, all kinds of other big tournaments. But there's still a few others he's seeking. Of course, here at the Derby, there's many of those events he'd like to win.
MORRA reclaims the lead, 2-1. want to thank just a couple of our sponsors.
2-1 now. Nice out there.
Performance you can feel
Unforced
right off
error
National
from
Billiards
Atencio.
Academy. Beat people with a stick. As we head into
Looks like
round
both players
4,
use the same barber
John
here,
Morrah
their
will have the
hairstyle.
break.
Morrah taking the glove off of his right hand so he can break right-handed.
Yeah, it's funny. He
love
doesn't put a glove on for the break on the left either.
I want to send a shout out to Rhett Butler, tuned in, Central Illinois. Glad to have you alongside, Rhett. I appreciate the insight that there might have been a technical glitch. Rhett's a great player. If you ever get up that way, Jeremy, watch out.
Oh, yeah. Sneaky,
No, just a good straight shooter.
younger guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, tall, lanky guy, runs out with will at will. You'll have a good game with him.
There you go. I've been trying to hit a few balls here and there. Played a little bit last night. Certainly enjoyed it.
You played
Tables were playing great.
bank pool, right?
Yeah, I played a little banks with a guy that we've been trying to get together to play a little bit for some time. And hard to sleep around this derby, you know. You want to hit balls or do something.
The 9 and the 8 ball right behind the 1.
Oh, no.
Oh, dunked the cue ball.
And really, you know, the ultimate mistake in rotation pool, but especially after a big miss or a simple miss from Jesus.
Jeremy and I are rooming together. He said I was really snoring last night. So that's okay. But I was tired. I was super tired. He knows I would have played poker with him last night if I had been up to it. But
yeah,
had a long travel day. Just getting to be able to come over here, it's always a big week of work beforehand. And then I still have a ton left to do when I get home to catch up on, but wouldn't miss it for the world.
No, I think you and I are pretty fortunate as far as the way the game's evolved, and you and I both do some teaching, and so there's a lot more people interested in trying to get better at pool, and that helps us. But yeah, big mistake there on the break. It was no unlucky kiss, just a miss hit on the 1. Now Jesus can really leave that miss in game number 3 behind and try and tie the score.
You know, these matches are turned around not by shot making, but rather at the unforced errors. And when a scratch on the break like that, where it wasn't kissed in, that's an unforced error. When it gets kissed in, that's just going to happen, and you can't really do much to deny that. So anyway, we've had 2 big unforced errors, that scratch on the break and Atencio's missed 5 ball. Other than that, it's been perfect pool.
Yeah, I wonder if he pinches this. Okay, he's going to try and draw it 1 rail all the way back, maybe. Oh, wow. And that's just maybe not taking dead aim, maybe.
There was no pause. It just went off. You know, it just youthful vigor, sees the finish line, but forgot to get there. So,
which I'm sure Jesus had put in his time prior to this match, but it was coming down the hall, and he was way down the hall not long beforehand. I thought he played at 1 against John. I was kind of curious why he wasn't over here hitting some balls. But
no, he was down here. I got down here about 10 or 10:30. He was playing on this table.
Oh, okay.
So he might have run up to the room or something. But,
yeah.
But no, he was the first one here today. Him and Shane Van Boning. Guess who? SVB.
Well, Shane, who won this last year and went on to win some other huge titles in 2023, trying to move on nicely at the beginning of 2024. All right, just use your talent. Come on 1 rail here for the side, over by the head spot.
One year, Shane won this event, but they hadn't unlocked the doors to get in. It was the first day, the day we all get here, and they were going to unlock the doors at 4 p.m. Shane tipped the guard $100 and let him in here at noon.
Yeah.
And Shane won that year on the 10-foot table. So kind of respected and admired that.
I'll tell you, the way the table was playing at the International a couple years ago. Now, he didn't win it. He got beat in the final, I think, by Albin. But the pool that Shane played that week on that table, and as tough as that table was playing that week, it was some of the best I've ever seen. Okay, easy to get a little thin on these, like overcut this type of shot for some reason, trying to check the cue ball.
Very straight cueing from MORRA. He always works on that part of it. Well, just what you said. He hit the thin side of the pocket. He didn't overcut it entirely, but he didn't hit the pocket pier like he was planning, I don't think.
And this is another good thing. This will fool you. You can go with follow a lot of times on the 10-footer where it's a scratch shot maybe on the 9. You have that little bit extra long rail to work the cue ball.
Nice speed. Just filters it up there. Okay, MORRA takes advantage. Scratch on the break. Is that what? No. Well, how did he get started?
No, John. That was a missed 4 ball.
That was the missed 4 ball. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, John actually scratched on the break. And
the rack before.
Yeah.
That's right.
Jesus had made a mistake there. Kind of like drawing the cue ball to the 1 rail. Trying to come all the way back. Again, he's racking the 2-3, but that's, it's not the worst thing in the world as far as if we're going to have a bit of a mistake there.
Yeah, it's pretty random anyway, but anyway, that's not the big deal. The one thing, when balls are close together, they made a ruling last night or described it that you have to have your cue at 45 degrees. Okay, but what if the opponent says, well, but that was only 38 degrees? No, I'm just saying, what are we going to do?
Right.
I don't really like rules that have that subjective aspect to it.
Oh no.
Snowball got loose in the drink.
He's got the speed down. He's pouring them in now, but the cue ball's got away. And
it's just that little whisker of topspin he's getting on there that's making it go. He bounces it back behind the side pocket, and then it starts to trickle forward. And if it's just a micron left or right of the center of that 1 ball, then it exaggerates and starts to tail towards that side pocket.
Yeah, and the thing about the 2 and 3 on the corners, that would make a huge difference if you're making the 1 a lot on the break. But in 10 ball, they don't make the 1 a lot on the break. So,
yeah,
like we played 9 ball with the 9 on the spot, right?
Yes.
Well, they quit racking the 2 in the very back because you could predict where the 2's going, and that's the ball you're shooting at the most because you're making the 1 on the side. So a little more important, I think, to have that random on the 2 and 3 if you're pocketing the 1 on the break quite a bit.
Playing a safety here, that's interesting.
Well, the 3 must not have a pocket.
Right.
And the 2's just in a bad position to do anything. Now, if he gets the 1 grouped up with his 10, he could have a combo or easy 3rd foul.
Right, or an easy way to dislodge the 3 if he does get ball in hand on the 1. So pretty heady play there. You don't see on an open table many guys play the first shot as a safety with ball in hand, but MORRA recognized the circumstance. And these guys are so good at hitting it, and they somehow escape. Probably 20% of the time they get a backdoor safety if they hit the thing. So it's not just because you play safe it's not an assurance you're going to get a good shot.
No, he won. I was just about to say he wanted to squeeze the cue ball up on the 5, and Jesus could maybe hit the 1 or the 10 to dislodge that combo. Went right between them, and he's going to give up pretty much a cupcake on the 10 to extend the lead for John. No. I guess there's no awkward cueing. That's another thing that's a nice advantage, right? What if you're cueing awkwardly on one side of the ball because you're lefty or righty or something, and you can switch? It's pretty nice to have in the bag. It shouldn't be fired, but it won't be slow rolled, I don't think. Somewhere around medium pace.
All right, good shot. Good decision on the safety.
Well, he's seen a couple easy mistakes. That's why that scratch on the break from John hurt earlier, or I felt like it would hurt because Jesus made an easy mistake. So the safety there not only was it smart, but taking a chance when your opponent, makes a few, errors, you may not want to take a chance as much. Tables are playing nice. Mark, I don't know if you've gotten to hit any balls yet, but
I brought my cue just in case.
I saw it in
historically,
the room. Yeah.
Historically, I don't get to use it much.
No, that's why I tried to play a little last night, just because pretty limited overall as far as with the work schedule and whatnot.
Four to 1 is our score.
Yeah, nice little lead to get started here. And
I remember Willie Munson always told me he tried to get 3 games ahead, tried to keep it 3 games. He's always a pleasant guy. Did you spend any time with Willie when he was around?
Yeah, he was. I mean, not as much as I'd like because it was mainly at tournaments and whatnot.
Yeah.
But he was sure nice to me, and he saw me on the road here and there back before I started playing the big tournaments, and I really love that guy.
Yeah, he was a great human being.
Yeah, it's one of the best smiles you'll ever see.
Yeah.
Okay, John, going with a little more power still. You'll see the 4 railers going quite long. Now, a decision to make. He's got a couple safeties. He could cut the 1 and run the cue ball behind the 10-3. I kind of like that. You could play behind the 9 as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty easy. Just got to run your speed a touch a little bit with the object ball and the cue ball. There are some gaps running the cue ball if you chip the 1.
But there's also some huge upside there because you got a ton of clutter in the way here if they have to kick or shoot straight at it.
Yeah, no jump cues, so that does play a part on the safeties.
He's cueing low, so he's not going to run the cue ball that way, I don't think.
I think he's trying to put him behind the 9. I think, anyways. Maybe the bank, like a 2-way.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Cue ball got away.
Yeah.
He made the bank, but hit it too low. And it was, 2-way is right. He was trying to make the bank and get positioned on the 2 and be safe just in case. Not a bad decision, just execution got away.
Yeah, I think the new felt, I think he actually drew it more. He was trying to softly stun to the short rail, catching the long rail, and just kind of holding behind the 9.
Right.
But we talked about it. John does stay aggressive, and he hit the ball really well. I think, again, just the new felt got a little the best of him. So is there anything better than ball in hand to shake off a few mistakes?
No, exactly. That is the remedy.
Yeah.
Makes you feel so much better about your circumstance.
Yeah, it's like the best Alka-Seltzer you could ever have. You're feeling a little rough. All right, he's going to get a little the wrong side. Can go 3 rails. The 6 does go by the 9. 7 does lay up in the side, so should get out here. Now here, be aggressive. No reason to back off. You want to not get next to the 6, but you don't want to be extra distance away, and this should do nicely. It's been this kind of shot, right, Mark? Just something right in front of him that got away from him a couple times.
Yeah. If he can cash this in, that will remedy a lot of his wonder if he's going to be in this match at all.
Yeah, and it's amazing how not easy it is to come back, but it sets up, comebacks are set up, and get this on the board, he breaks in the next. Can get it to 4-3 pretty quickly.
Nice decision there. Pull the cue ball back. This way you can just go 1 rail at the 10 rather than 2 rails.
Yeah, I like drawing up the rail here, I think. This is the type of shot that the 10-foot, you really have that little extra space to pull it up the rail and flatten the angle.
All right, 4-2 is our score. ATENCIO picks up his second win.
And Jesus gets his second win, 4 games to 2 now. And he'll be breaking in rack 7.
Mark had mentioned earlier it's one. Is it 1, 3:37 and 9:30? That's our 4 matches today.
Correct, yes. Boy, we got some good ones coming up, too. Tonight, 7 p.m., Gorse versus Shaw.
Yeah, I saw
Can't
that
wait.
one. They can't wait it either, I bet.
Here's one of our viewers back in Macomb, Illinois. Rick Chirac says, I was always afraid to bring my cue when he was here. That's right, Rick. I know what would have happened.
All right. Like Mark said, caught a little top spin. I wouldn't change the speed, though. He's pouring them in now. I don't think I would go back to. He went back to more of the pop break, but he's making them.
And squared him up a little nicer, too. Look at the one checked up in front of the corner pocket there. So he's down table, long range. 1 and the 2 down here on the same end.
The rail first, I think, and I think he snookered maybe partially here on the 1, and again that when you hit the ball well, it looks like more power. He really didn't unload on those. He just hit them really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he can get at the 1. I thought he had to play a rail first.
Looks like rail first here on the overhead, but
Yeah.
now rail first makes the position. Yeah, your speed control's got to be a little bit better.
Yeah, he's kind of got to bleed the cue ball softly because, again, rail first now. He's cueing down so he can get at it.
Oh, nice hit there. Pulled it back about 2.5 inches to get a real nice angle to work with. That's real subtle, too. Had he stopped it right where it was at, it was going to be a back cut on the 2 that was going to make that cue ball travel.
Yeah.
Here he can come across the table with control.
Yeah, you're right. He would have been concerned maybe getting over the 7-9, something like that. So he's got some work to do, though. That's a nasty little cluster with the 7, 8, 9, 10.
Very much so. Yeah, that's going to be treacherous.
Combo playable, maybe that may open it up pretty easily.
It appears to be just enough off angle to control the 7. Won't be easy if he has to play that combination.
Now it appears maybe the 7 squeaks by the 8. I kind of overlooked it like it didn't go, but maybe it does.
That would help matters a lot if he could play the 7 over in the corner pocket.
Yeah, that must be it because he's looking at the combination now.
Yeah, he got a hint flat to get across the table for the 7. He's going to have to hit an in-between shot here with a little stun, so maybe it is going to be the 7-9.
Yeah, treacherous little shot to control the speed to get comfortably on the 7 and the side, and still a lot of work from there. So if the 7-9 is playable, I think I stick to that. He's going to try and play that speed, so still a lot of concern with not only the 7 but pocketing the 7 and getting on the 8. Cue ball's going into the 9.
And then how you hit the pocket dictates how much pace comes out of the cue ball and where the cue ball leaves the 9 at. So
yeah, it looks like if he wants to apply a little right English here, he can roll it and catch the good side of the 9. But otherwise, he's got to draw. Oh, he played the bank. Wow.
with a little inside spin too. Yeah, he kind of.
We won't see it with the camera, Mark, but I want you to watch that backhand of his. We'll get a good view, and this should be one. If he rolls it, it'll be about an inch throw. If he powers up, he'll probably throw the cue maybe 4 inches. Watch where the backhand ends up on this cue right here. See that?
Yeah. Boy, pure, nice speed. Maneuvered the cue ball over here nicely.
Yeah, and get a little pep in his step as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, we know he's a fireballer.
Yeah.
He's all about playing offense. Boy, what a nice run out this was.
Yeah, break and run to get another on his side. 4-3 now.
It's down to 1 game now, 4 games to 3. John MORRA leads it, and he'll have the break. As we head into
Which
round
I'm
8.
sure you spent plenty of time on the 10-foot, but myself, I almost felt like once I practiced on a little bit, I played almost better rotation than the 9-foot, just because I never ever really kind of cinched a ball. It was always, you know,
That's amazing.
a committed stroke. So
It's 25% larger
yeah,
than a 9-footer. And you think, well, 25% more difficult. No, it's about 35% more difficult because everything is at least 6 inches longer, every single shot. And there's just never, you can't take a holiday mentally. So you really have to get used to playing it. And then once the cue ball goes past the side pocket, even tall guys like me and you, it's awkward as could be.
yeah, that's what I was going to mention. There's some other things to it you wouldn't even think about until you start getting out there and playing on it, like the stretch. And I think position at times becomes definitely a little different.
Get a chance to see Morra's break now. 6 and 7 right behind the 1.
Yeah, they're dressing up those balls in the side along with the 1 in the corner. The 2's going to open. More in a great spot here.
I like to play straight pull on my 5x10, but the break shots you always have to play from. You keep the cue ball on the far side, or not always, but a lot of the time.
For a right-hander, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but a lot of times on a 9-foot table, I let that cue ball get a little closer for my accuracy and it's not just accuracy pocketing the ball, but it's also accuracy going into the stack. If you hit the pocket thick or thin, it changes how those balls dislodge.
Well, that, and I think also on a 9-foot straight pull, I think you would be satisfied a little more with what you have, meaning like you can play from a few more positions that you're okay with mentally, where on a 10-footer you'd be like, do I really want this break shot from below the rack, cutting it back and running 3 rails off the rack? I mean, those could be pretty demanding. I like the choice here rather than laying up underneath the 9.
Mm-hmm.
Very open center of the table. Key here is don't let up. Make sure you get through the ball.
Yeah, it would be so easy to settle for that 2 ball from that side rather than work the cue ball back out where he did. But this lends itself to a better run out, easier run out.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like both players are really heated up now. I think we're going to see pretty perfect pool from here on out. Just kind of hold the ball like a hair of a stun, maybe, just so he can reach it a little better. Or is he drawing back to the rail and over? Oh, he's just killing it. There was more angle than I thought, Mark.
Yeah, he was right away. He was concerned about the 5 ball, and then he saw it was not going to get in front of the 5 ball, so he was happy.
Okay, tricky little shot. You'd like to say just, kind of knock it in with a little inside, which is probably the play, but does make it a little missable at this speed. And that's why the new felt, I think.
Yeah, he also lost his timing on that. It was the first one that didn't have that nice tempo, that transition like he'd been demonstrating on the others.
Well, one thing, and I don't recall him as a right-hander, but as a lefty, he doesn't pause at the cue ball very often. He kind of just rolls into the stroke a little bit, but he has real mild pre-stroke, so he can get, you can do that. But I think there, you could kind of see he got a little quicker with it and maybe a little decel on the way down, maybe.
Yeah. No, he's definitely feeling tentative about the ball, what you described. So.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, on that 4 ball, you can hit it with right English, right? And go 2 rails and really chew the speed up to where you don't have to baby it as much. And maybe take a little more shot on the 5, but nothing too bad. So
I kind of thought he was going to play it that way, even though the position zone wasn't as great going that direction, but the power pocketing is so much easier. So sometimes you kind of defend yourself and say, well, if I get a little rough on this, I'm going to duck.
Yeah.
But I'm just not going to go down on a missed shot.
Yeah.
That's kind of the big, unforced error.
And the one thing I tell these guys, and really all players, is how well you recover. So even if he gets a little behind the 5, John's going to knock that ball in at a high rate. So it's the subtle strokes that get away from some of these players. Like another one there. So as soon as I said they're heating up.
2 open misses, right?
3, actually. 2 from John. And I guess Jesus's was a pretty tough shot trying to cut the 4 in the corner.
Well, I didn't ding him for an unforced error when he missed it.
Yeah.
And he did miss on the pro side, but John's both were unforced errors.
Yeah, all right, coming 3 rails between the 7-8. Looks like.
Ooh, let the cue ball get away here, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's just making sure of things. That's all. You know, he kind of knew where he wanted to go. You just, when you're down on the ball, just a little bit, you know, one stroked it, I guess.
You can't be casual on the 5x10. Will extract that penalty. Now he's got to make a big stroke. And, nice recovery.
Just a stop shot here. Shouldn't do much.
It's always annoying to me because I know I should have been better.
Yeah, right.
And so then now this shot plays tougher because I know I could have been better on it. It's peculiar, but true. Good shot there. It's like it takes a little extra mental toughness. Okay, good job there.
4-piece. It's race to 10.
It's a race to 10 here in the Derby City.
We got 1 full round of banks today. I think the first round will probably linger into tomorrow, maybe a little bit.
Thank a couple of our sponsors, including
Not sure, but 500 players in each event, correct?
And 50 tables of pool action for a week. 50 tables. Think of that.
Here's our National Billiard Academy rack track. You can see MORRA with the first 4 out of 5. Now 3 in a row for ATENCIO.
Yeah, ATENCIO does not know the rule. The 2 and the 3 have been on the corner every single time. See 8 and 9 right behind the 1 ball. 9 ball found the mark.
Yeah, you can see the miss hit on the 1. That's pretty obvious in the 10 ball break. Come across it a little bit. That's why the 1 tracked more down the center of the table versus towards that corner pocket. He's in a great position here with the 4 there. He may have to just come 1 rail instead of 2 and just, I don't know how much angle he has. Maybe take a little bit of a longer shot on the 2, but not much. I wouldn't try to get into this cue ball too much, trying to get closer to the 2, really. No, he had plenty of angle.
Yeah, he hits a lot of those little awkward shots to where they look easy. But he's got that little gift. I don't know what it is, but I see him a lot of times to just effortlessly get through challenging little circumstances that are real subtle.
Well, this is the beautiful thing about that technique I was telling you about is you never hit at the ball. So you always are spinning the cue ball away. So anytime you do that, you're going to get the most out of the cue ball. It never goes away kind of flattish, right? So he's always getting through the ball because he throws the cue. So there's some advantages to that, that's for sure. And it's amazing how many players do it. Mark, Co-Brothers, that's their technique. Alvin Ocean, Mario He, Feder Gorst has some of that. There's a prime one here. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Well, that's a gruesome unforced error there. I mean, that side pocket, pros either take it out of there altogether or they make sure they get behind.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I usually watch the object ball in that regard, and that ball hit dead center. You know, he didn't hit it a little thick, or thin. And I really don't know, was he trying to go past it, Mark, or between the 5 and the side?
Yeah, because otherwise.
Yeah, you wouldn't hit any outside English, I don't think, if you were trying to go short of the side. All right, little awkward here with the 8 there. Not terrible, though. Actually, maybe a little more awkward than I thought. Now he's going to have to roll the ball. Does he clip the 8? Does he go by it mildly? I think he goes by it if he goes real soft.
Yeah, okay.
So time for a timeout for one of these guys, when they get the chance, go regroup.
Well, ATENCIO already asked for one, but it was more of the break, and Ricky wouldn't let him have it. So, But now he's retaliated with a couple 3 racks.
Yeah, he doesn't want to change
he's
anything.
A little better.
Yeah. He said, "Thank you, Ricky, for not giving me that timeout." Now John is the one that seems like it's been 3 mistakes, glaring mistakes, here in his last few innings.
Well, the 5x10 will take a toll on these guys, and like you said, it looked like they're going to break free and just play like it was 9-footer the rest of the way and just be all good. But you just get a hint out of the line, and man, does that ever get up on you in a hurry.
Yeah, and if you look at the 3 misses, the 4 with a little inside spin, the 5 right after, and now the 6 have all been at very light speeds. Nothing with any authority has been a problem.
That was a nice thin hit there on that hanging ball.
Yeah, on a new felt, that ball can spread on you towards the 10 pretty easily. An overcut here. So maybe the player's not aware so much. You know, you, of course, dealt with a lot of this. The new felt, the ball's cut a little easier, right? I mean, I've always felt that. There's not much friction there.
Right, just seems to be
Yeah.
less friction.
And we've seen all overcuts as far as misses on those types of shots.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, these guys never get to play on a 5x10 to begin with, so
Yeah.
it's awesomely intimidating. One time I was down there doing a thing on Pat's video for lagging, and I looked down there. I've been up in the booth all week, and I looked down there. It looked like the flight deck of an aircraft carrier. And when I got down there, and I owned one, I was like, good Lord.
Yeah, you know, Jimmy Karras, of course, I think he still owns the straight pool tournament record at 265, I think, on the 5x10. Shortest guy to ever play it, seems like, maybe.
Oh, yeah, what a gentleman. Nice man.
Yeah. Lived in Jacksonville, Florida for a couple years, and he retired there, of course, with his daughter and lived there the last few decades of his life, 30 years, maybe 25 years. And, well, what a pleasure to be around.
How old were you when you started?
Pool?
Yeah.
I started way late. I didn't start till 17.
Okay.
So I was a baseball